Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Mystery Monday. I am, of course, Zero from TechDragon, obviously, and today we are gonna take a look at Aion, or Aion, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So, Aion, or Aion, is a MMORPG that is currently free to play, at least on the US server. European server, if you can avoid it, just a tip, don't even try. The European server is hosted by Frogster, if I'm not mistaken, and they are a terrible company. Support is shit. They are behind on updates by half a year or more. It's just terrible. I don't know if they caught up by now, but from everything I've heard about them, they are absolutely terrible. So, US server, free to play, has been for a while. It's the most up-to-date server, if, except for the Korean one, obviously, because it's a Korean game. When you start the game, you get the choice for your character creation between two races, the Ilios and the Asmodean. This was a bit of a bad choice, the way they set this up, because they kind of made the Ilios the quote-unquote light character, and the Asmodean the dark character. So, the gloom-cursed Asmodean, the woe in the upper half, blah blah. So, they're always sort of portrayed as the bad guy because they are the dark race, the cursed, it just wasn't a smart choice, and a lot of people, like me, don't like to play the evil guys. I like to play the lights, the nice, the good. So, yeah. So, but there's still a lot of people playing them. It's not like, they're really any different in-game itself. There are some differences between the races. You get some different skills that are slightly different, but most of the not the content, but the characters themselves are pretty similar. So let's take a quick look at an Ilios character and what they're like. And the classes you can pick and that sort of stuff. Well, this is new and this is pretty screwed up. As in that it's that close. Okay, so we have the choice between Warrior. Warrior is your melee combat between a AoE off tank as well as the full main tank. We have the Scouts, which will grow up to be the Archer and the Assassin. Assassin being a dual wielding class, Archer of course bow and arrow. Mage goes into a Sorcerer and a Spirit Master. Spirit Master being the commander of elemental spirits, so a summoner and sort of necromancer, but it's not necromancy, but just that type. You have one spirit that stays with you and you can summon all 4 elements plus one bonus special one. The Asmodeans get a different one than the Ilios. Different elements as well. The Sorcerer of course being the glass cannon, big bada boom. Priest, your healers, and a chanter, which is a off healer / buff spec kind of character. The chanter is melee heal. The cleric is ranged magic damage and heal. Keep that in mind, it's kind of important. Then the techniques, we have our gunners, and this only grows up into one class, the gunner, but you can split off into the heavy cannon, like this dude, or the dual pistol variety. And last but not least, we have the Muse, which grows up to be a Songweaver. Songweaver is sort of like Chanter, and if you've ever played this game, you'll know that the Chanter has a bad reputation. A really bad reputation. If you deck him out good and well and great gear and all that, they can be quite powerful, but they are pretty much underpowered and sort of screwed over by all the updates. Like everybody else got stuff and they just got screwed over. They still don't have AoE, I think. Well, there's one, but it's a DP skill, which I'm not going to get into right now, but it's just shit. Anywho, so you have a Songweaver, which is the long-range version of the Chanter, so the magical long-range version, and can also heal and buff, and is pretty much sort of the better Chanter. A lot of things that the Chanter should have gotten, they put in this class instead of actually fixing the Chanter. Let's get out of there. This is my secondary account, so these are sort of low-level characters. On my first account, everything is 60 plus. Most of them, almost all of them. Or at least 50 plus. Except for one or two. But I don't care for those, so, you know. So I have my Song Weaver here just because I had to try one out. They're not the most, butch kind of, characters, to say the least. This is sort of just a try that I did for a while. Kashi, well, there's a very long story about Kashi, and it's the only female character I'll ever make. But there's a whole story behind it and a reason I have her, and it's always a monk slash buff kind of class, so in this case a chanter. Then I have my gunslinger and my warrior that was, you know, didn't really do anything with him. Let's take a look at the gunslinger, which is one of the newer classes. So, here we are again, and we're in the game on my gunner. If I can pull up my weapons, there they are. See? Guns. And I prefer the dual wielding guns over the big cannon kind of thing. But anyways, let's get back to explaining this game. Like I said, it's a MMORPG. It used to be a pay-to-play game about a year ago almost. And I actually played this with Quill and Lola and a couple of other people for quite a bit. I think I paid for about 9 months of subscription or something like that for quite a while. And it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it for all the time that I played it. But they do have some problems, and I'm not saying this is going to be a problem for you, but I have, I think, 6 characters that are above level 50, and 5 of them or 4 of them are level 60. I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it. Leveling for me is a chore that I have to set myself to do because I've done all the quests, you know, and leveling is a million times easier now than it was when I was playing. Seriously, it's not even funny. I had to grind out levels for like a week to get one level, and now you can do it in a day. You know, not every level, but it's just so much easier. Campaign quests now give you millions of experience. Back when I was playing in the beginning, it only gave you like 10,000. It's just so different now. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, you don't get stuck on levels as much now. I had to grind out levels because I just completely ran out of quests, doing every single side quest. Well, let me show you. All these blue markers are still quests I need to pick up. Then we have all these quests that I still have picked up. Now some of these are a bit outdated, level 25 and stuff. But yeah, then there's campaign quests. Still have a level 9 campaign quest that I never did. And I have some higher level campaign quests I can still do. So there is a lot to do, and if you want to do every single side quest in the game, oh, you're gonna be busy. If you love questing, well, look no further. You found a game you'll want to find. It's just, yeah, let's take a look at my completed quests. I've not done a whole lot, and that's what you have to do to level nowadays. Well, this is my campaign, excuse me. This is my normal quest. Yeah, a bit more. My bad. So campaign quests are like main storyline quests, and all the other quests are just sort of side quests, although some of them are kind of important. Some of them will give you more storage space. You know, there are some important ones that you really want to do. But the campaign ones are the ones you have to do, and they will actually limit your ability to continue on to next maps, that sort of stuff. So the campaign quest you always want to do. Now you don't have to do every single one of them, but yeah, I have not done a whole lot of quests on this character. My goal pretty much has been just do campaign quests and nothing else, and it has gotten me pretty far. So let's take a look at some of the aspects. Health bar, obviously, mana bar, skills. This is your main just auto attack. I'll run outside here so I can attack something. I put it on here because auto attack will engage when you're firing and stuff. It will automatically start as well, but I kind of think it's better to actually start off with an auto attack. So the auto attack pulls out your weapon, start shooting. You start doing skills. This is a multi-use skill, so you can use the same icon multiple times for different attacks. And go off to the next one. That's a root. And now we'll just finish him off with that. We loot the stuff, and there you go. That was one kill. So this game is very much dependent on cooldown management, not so much on using that one powerful skill. No, it's a combination of all your skills and the way you put them. It's not unheard of to fill all of these bars plus another 2 on the sides and this one. This is a game of many skills, not just a couple of good ones. There's still, you know, the couple of good ones, don't get me wrong, but let's finish this one. So as you can see, the first skill hasn't even come off cooldown yet. So that's the thing about this game, or very much actually this character is the gunner, and cooldown management on this character is everything. You don't really have enough skills to just run through everything, because 3 of your skills, that one, no, not that one, and that one, are all on the same cooldown. So that can be really annoying. Let's take a look at the buff here. That's not a buff. Where's my buff? Nope. This is actually quite handy for PvP. Being able to see through basic stealth. Very handy. That's the housing section. Yes, you do have houses. Where is my buff? Is this it? No. As you can see, I haven't played this in a while, so I'm kind of lost as to where. There it is. Increase your natural healing and mana treatment by 35 and 10. What this does is basically how much health you increment per, you know, X amount of time that you gain. It updates that, and you really do notice the difference of having it on and off. There's also pots that will do the same thing. These natural mana treatments and that, which means that just having those 2 on, you'll really notice your regen will be a lot better. So let's take a look at the skill list here. This is actually not a lot of skills, because this character, like I said, is more about cooldown management than having a lot of skills, which is a bit out of the ordinary, but I'm only level 32, so yeah. A lot of this game is, man, I don't even know how to get through this game. There's just so much to it. If you've played any other MMORPG, you'll have a better understanding how everything works, but not everybody has played this genre, so, you know, I kind of have to go through everything. You have some time management as well. There's dodging skills, you know, skills that are cast on the ground, AoEs and stuff. You can dodge them. You can cast skills to counteract an enemy skill. Dodge 1 physical attack or resist 1 magical attack. What you do is you see them cast, like, I don't know, something on you, and you know it's either, you know, a melee or magical, because that's pretty much all attacks. You cast this skill, and you will automatically dodge 1 attack if it's not a guaranteed hit skill. There's a couple of those, not a whole lot, but there's a couple. Which means that while this 8 seconds are up, you're sort of invulnerable for 1 skill. So if you time it right and you miss the biggest bada boom skill they have, instead, you know, in PvP for instance, then yeah, fun. So what else do we have? Let's take a look at the map. We are currently on Heron, but let's take a look at the world map. We have Bellaria, which is the Asmo side of things. I of course don't have it lit up because, you know, I'm not an Asmo. Well, this is technically Asmo Day. Excuse me. Take a look here. We have Morheim, Belution, Eldgard, Ishagil. They have the weirdest names, I swear. And then we have Oreo, which is our I guess the city with almost all of the housing, although there's some housing on the other maps as well. We have Sanctum, which is our main town. Puera is the starting map. Theobomus, which is a sort of side map. Verderon is kind of the first map you go to after the starting map. Elton, Heron, which is where we're currently at. And that was it for the maps here. And then we have in Bellaria, which is 3.0 added map, or continent more or less. Ingetson, Catalam, that's new. Sarpan somewhere. Where's Sarpan? Timaranta, Sarpan, Gelkmeros. I'm really bad at the Asmo names. I never really pronounced them because I, you know, wasn't there all that much, just for PvP. But the game has semi-open world PvP. there is a integrated server and a fast track server. Well, the fast track is the integrated, excuse me, and a standard server. Standard server is open world PvP. Fast track is a leveling server with extra experience gain. So if you just want to grind out levels or, you know, do your quest, then the fast track is the place to go. If you want to PvP, the standard server is the place to go. However, we still have a place called the Abyss, which consists of 3 layers: an upper, which is currently white because I'm on the fast track, but normally these forts, people can hold these forts. Either the Asmos, the Elios, or the Balar. Balar is an NPC race, and man, this is a lot of info I'm dumping on you guys. But yeah, graphics, it looks pretty damn good. The ground could use some retexturing, I have to say. But overall, I do like the looks of the game. So get a quick look at the options. I'm using the default graphics engine for, well, let's go to the high quality one real quick. So, here we are with the new graphics engine enabled. And, yeah, as you can see, my frames are dropping a bit more while recording. Normally I run about 50. So it's definitely still very playable, but at the beginning there used to be a little bit of a lag when I was playing this. And the weird thing was, I was running it at like 60 frames, like normal. There's just this little jitter once in a while, like a little, you know, and it was just annoying me. But one thing, let's get to an edge here. One thing you need to, well, what I hate about this engine, let's see if we can get a good view here. Come on. Well, they seem to have fixed it by now. It's a miracle. Not entirely, but the problem with this engine was that they seem to have partially at least fixed it. See these edges, like with this fence here, the top edge? It's pretty smooth now, but it used to be very jaggedy. So their anti-aliasing in this engine was, from what I read, due to a error not enabled or didn't function. They used their own half-assed self-created version of anti-aliasing, which was absolutely shit. So without getting into too much details, it's the jagged edges. There you can see it in the middle of the screen, right there. See that? Those jagged edges there? That's what I'm talking about. That's a good example. So that was the problem. They didn't have just normal AA enabled anti-aliasing, but they had their own shitty version, and it just annoyed the piss out of me. And I have to say, it's a lot better now. Like, these edges are a lot more smooth than they used to be. So they seem to have finally nailed it and fixed it. Which is good, so it means I can run around this engine. And the way that lag is gone as well. There are still some glitches here and there. It's not perfect. You gotta remember, this game, it dates back to 2009, if I'm not mistaken. It's not a new game, and they got a complete new engine, rendering engine. So, they did do some work on it. Yeah, there's some, here, see that? That's what I'm talking about. Those things, and that just annoys me. Because if you walk, you will see them move and stuff, see that? So that's what I don't like about this engine. That's why I go with the default engine, because it has just proper anti-aliasing. But enough ranting about that. The game itself, yeah, it's, I hate to say it, sort of your run-of-the-mill MMORPG. You know, what makes it unique? Well, PvP between the two races. There are some PvP instances where you can go up against monsters and the enemy as well at the same time. Unique feature of this game? Well, how many games can you do this? Oh yeah, flight. Actual, honest flight. Only problem is, it's limited. Depending on where you're at, you can't always fly. You should see right here. Right around here is where I should run into an invisible barrier. Where is it? Okay. That's new. I don't think you were able to fly. Oh, there we go. See? It's a barrier. Can't fly. Yep. And if you hit space, you go into a glide mode, which will preserve your flight time. Now, I'm not 100% agreeing with how they did all the flight in this game, but it's definitely not bad. And, you know, it's definitely nice. You have aerial combat as well. There's not a lot of flying mobs in the game though, but, you know, against enemies, PvP, Asmodeans, there is that. I'm just sort of kiting this dude around. Yeah, well, you can get angry all you want. Boom. So yeah, that is Aion or Aion, depending on how you want to pronounce it, for you. You can glide off cliffs, which is a very nice feature. Flying has to be the best feature of this game. I mean, it's like I need to get up there, you know, and the normal pathway is all the way around there, but that's where town is, so you have to walk all the way around there. Or you just fly up and go there. Down here you can see my flight time. Once we get into town, actually I'll just stand over here. Is a treasure box up? No. There's random treasure boxes that spawn on these things as well from time to time. There's a lot of treasure boxes all over the world. There's usually not a whole lot in them, but let's take a quick look at the character screen here. So, my weapons, you can plus your weapons, you can mana socket weapons. Hold down Alt so you can see it. Magic Boost, the gunner, how weird as it sounds, is a magic based character. And the skills are, they basically grow with Magic Boost. Magic Boost is just a multiplier. The more of it you have, the better your multiplier. That's the way to see it. Attack speed, magical accuracy, just your pretty run-of-the-mill standard stats. Your normal accuracy, so that's melee accuracy. Crit strike, well, since it's magical, it uses magic crit, not normal crit. Offhands. Next, physical defense, block, parry, evasion. So the first thing when you get hit that gets checked is evasion. If you evade, you get no damage. Secondly, block, I do believe, gets checked. So blocking will diminish the attack that you get, attack damage, by the amount specified on your shield. Your shield will dictate how much percent of the damage you block. And then parry is checked, which is a sort of, you know, glance off the shot, a parry, and it will deflect about 25% of the damage, I think. Not deflect back, but, you know, deflect it away from you. What else do we have? Magic Boost, like I said, is a multiplier. Magical accuracy is your magical hit rate. Crit spell, well, obvious. Healing Boost is a multiplier for your heals. Cast speed, how fast you can cast. Magical defense, every time you get hit, this number gets subtracted from the attack on you. Magic suppression, I need to think, it's been a while, is decreasing their magical accuracy. So it's sort of a magical dodge. Was it? No. That's magic resist, excuse me. Magic suppression? I don't remember. Oh right, magic suppression decreases their magic boost, so it decreases their multiplier and thus the whole damage on you becomes less. So this affects the multiplier they hit you with, and this is an actual flat out number that you decrease in taking damage. Elemental resist, and then you have your MP, HP, power, health, agility, accuracy, knowledge, and will. These are fixed stats that you cannot alter, but they are sort of, they never really told anybody about these. It's kind of stupid, but these are like your base multipliers for your character. I mean, there's almost nothing you can do to change them. There's only a couple of passive books that you get at like level 20 that will alter these. And if I go into flight here, you'll see that I gain knowledge and accuracy plus 10 for flying. If I take flight off, they go away. So there's not a whole lot of ways to affect these, but, and it's kind of vague what these do exactly, but they're basically multipliers for these stats for someone. I think that about covers it. There's a couple more things relating to the stats. If you take a look at, let's say this, if you go forward you get a little plus sign, plus 44. Go to 120. You can't really see it, that's kind of stupid. But you see how attack and magic attack, well, the two magic attacks get a plus sign. If I go backwards, you see they get a negative. and you'll see that block and parry get a plus. The direction you are running into will increase certain stats. So if you're a tank, let's take a look real quick. If you're a tank and you walk backwards, you get extra block and parry. So tanking while running backwards is a really good idea. If you're an archer, you walk backwards, your attack goes down. Bad idea. If you go forward, your attack goes up. If you strafe, your attack goes down. Take a look here, but your evasion goes up. So there's a lot of things to this game, depending on, you know, what you're doing or how you're doing it. And the first thing you activate is the one that's dominant. So I was moving forward, so I had negative physical defense. If I strafe first and then go forward, so you sort of strafe. Yeah, it's glitchy at best. Was it just right strafe that was evasion? No, right or left, but as soon as you go forward as well, that, yeah. So it's not glitchy, but it's not very useful, and it's a bit annoying, really. But it's something to keep, you know, keep in your mind. And if you're a tank, backpedaling is a good thing. If you're anything else, backpedaling is bad. I think that about wraps this episode up. It's a bit long, but it's a lot to cover. It's an MMORPG, a lot of stuff in it. Flights, PvP, PvE, instances, loads and loads of instances. I mean, take a look. Instance, 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 instance. That's just one map. That's all the instances just for one map. There's solo instances, you can see, max players 1. There's group instances, and there's even alliance instances that you can take up to, one of them is 12 people, but there's bigger ones as well, where you can take up to like 20 people, I think. A lot to do. Guilds, obviously. We have our own guild called Crystal Wings. So yeah, that's about it. I think that should wrap it up. If you have any questions about Aion, feel free to ask. I will leave a link to the website in the description. I will also leave a link to a TechDragon article where I explain pretty much all the stats in the game and the sort of formula behind them, so you know what to look for and how to calculate what you need, and who the stats are important for. And I guess that wraps it up. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.